What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for waiting. I was just finishing up a one-on-one mentor session with one of the new mentors, and it just took us a little bit longer. So hopefully you guys are okay. We do have some cool stuff we're going to cover today. I've got a bunch of new stickers that came in. So for those of you that win a GA, you'll get a sticker. And then I'm in the process of getting some things set up. If you guys want to buy any stickers or any of that stuff, you can do that too. And then we've got some half dollars we're going to look through today. Right here. They look really brand new, so I don't know that we're any silver in there. But we're going to at least attempt to look at these, okay? So we're going to do that. I'm going to talk about these guys a little bit. It's very heavy. I'm going to talk about these guys a little bit. I've got a video that'll be coming out next week. And then we've also got a lot to cover today. So if you guys have a question, there's a couple ways you can do this. One is you can do a super chat. That way it makes sure that I see it. A lot of these are going through. I'm going to miss them. And as we get talking, I don't, my answers are usually not, you guys ask deep questions. They're not questions I can answer by just saying yes or no. Usually takes a little bit longer to do that. So anyways, we go about doing this today. Ask your questions. We'll get to as many as we can. If you guys want to support the channel and support the community, you can always gift memberships. That's always fun. People love that too. If you need to get a hold of me, StackingSurfer@gmail.com. And we'll go from there. Now, for those of you that are members, if you did not get the invite to the live stream at 7 o'clock tonight Pacific, I guess that's 10 o'clock. Yeah, that'd be 10 o'clock Eastern. We will end this a little bit early before then so that I can get the rest of the emails into there. I know you guys have sent a lot of emails. So I'm going to set up a new system where there's just a specific email address for, questions and GAUs. There's too much junk that's coming in there. It's filling it up. I think there's already like 50 new emails in there just from today. All right. Okay, let's do this thing. So I want to go and see. You guys have been in here for a while having conversations. So let's see what you guys have to do. Oh, also, let's get to 100 thumbs up, and we'll do some more silver giveaways today too. Okay. Okay, let me just welcome all of you guys in here. Hopefully you can hear me okay, by the way. It's working. All right, we've got Melissa in here. We've got Craig, Amy, welcome. We've got Chuck. Interested Party is in here too. Neil, Jake's Custom Parts, Barb's in the house, PAEMT. We've got, let's see, who else do we have in here? Junior Van Gundry. And for you that are watching on TVs tonight, I do recommend getting out your phone, a tablet, or a computer by you so that you can more easily type. We are going to be doing some silver gauze today, so you'll want to be able to type in our hashtag so you guys can get into that. You do need to stick around and be here when that happens, and then you've got until tomorrow night to send a claim email. Now, if you guys have sent a claim email, I probably have them. I probably just haven't been able to get to them. I've been in a sales conference all week, and then with Yankee and Tim. And believe it or not, when you do interviews, I have to take 2 laptops with me on this trip. When you do interviews, you've got to edit those quickly. And so oftentimes I'm getting 4 hours, 6 hours of sleep on these trips, which is why I end up getting sick. I just don't get enough sleep sometimes. So just know that they're coming. We're going to work on it this weekend, but things can be a little crazy. So hopefully they'll all go out in the mail on Tuesday. All right. If you've got questions, put them in bold. That also helps as well. I'll try to get to those. All right. We got a lot of people in here. We got 130 watching. I have no idea how many likes we have until I go and set us up over here. I've got a dual screen set up at the moment, which is good. And this is going to let me go into and kind of see the live stream from you guys. It also makes it so I can send you guys, set you up with, I can set you guys up for a Q&A here too. So we're going to do that real quick. So I want to get our first one set up real quick here. All right, here's the first one we're going to start for the poll. Okay, we got our first poll going. You guys can put some stuff in there. That'll be good. Let's see. You guys think it's rigged? Well, it's a random optimizer, so I can't rig it. But it does feel very rigged, I know. I don't win that very much on my own, but I did win once. I think the first GA that I ever won was on Yankees channel, and it was 2 in the same night. So that kind of seemed a little rigged, didn't it? We've got Shiny Rocks Syndicate. Picked up a 8 proof ounces for 460 yesterday on Whatnot. Seller was speechless. He was too. I won't sell on Whatnot until someone shows me how I can find the time to do it in the first place, but how you can actually make any money off of it. I don't see how anybody makes any money off of Whatnot. I just don't see how that works. Okay. All right, let's see what you guys have in here. Okay, so we've got the question up right now for the poll. I want to see what you guys say. Right now we've got 63 votes. Let's see if we can get more. We've got 21% of you are concerned and 80% are not. And the question is, are you worried about gold and silver prices crashing? Okay. We're going to talk about that today. We're also going to talk about what the thumbnail was, which it showed London and it showed gold behind you. And what that really is it's the LBMA. We're going to talk about that too. Okay. Surfer, you stacking 1/10 ounce gold Eagles. I got the gold wallet. Pretty cool. I think that's awesome. I'm not buying a lot of gold right now. I've been buying more silver. I've been pretty heavy gold. So for me, I did pick up 10th ounce coins. Let's see. I think I picked those up in May of 2025, and I don't know that I can even remember what the price was, but it was like probably half the price of what they're worth now. It seems like I got a really good deal on those. But anyway, I do think 10th ounce gold Eagles are good to pick up. All right, let's see what else you guys have in here. So apparently there's a time that Tiger Stacker won when Yankee was talking about it on the wheel. That would look very rigged too. I don't know where you guys are getting all that information. I'm not seeing that it's anywhere near that high. I know a lot of people are talking about it, but I don't know on which Japanese website you're seeing that. If it's just hearing it from other channels, I haven't seen anybody be able to substantiate that yet. And I haven't seen a lot of buzz about it. We are going to look at Shanghai, and we can do that real quick here and see what they're doing. But I don't know how much of a buyer Japan is of silver right now, so I don't know that it's really all that relevant to us. Okay, so let's share this one. What the heck? That was weird. Okay, let me share this for you guys real quick. So we're going to talk about gold and silver here in a minute. This will be our first part of it. Let me just refresh this. Okay, so basically, what we're looking at right now, I'm going to pull up on my other phone here, spot prices of gold and silver. So right now in the West, we're looking at $90.29 is how much an ounce of silver is worth. And in the Shanghai Exchange, they're paying $101.06 US. The arbitrage is getting bigger, so I think we're really starting to see a true squeeze here to some degree, at least on the paper side of things, because you got these numbers that are creating that arbitrage. Now, keep in mind, in order to play this arbitrage, you've got to do it with physical. It's not just with paper. It can be paper contracts that can be redeemed in physical, but it's not really how it works. It's really moving the physical stuff over. But anyway, there you go. That's a $10 difference, guys. It's actually $11 difference almost. So that's huge. Now, what I think we're going to end up seeing is I think we're going to see the LBMA unwind. I could be wrong, but if that happens, it's going to be fireworks. And those fireworks are going to be something that we've never seen before, because it'll probably cascade into the COMEX, and there'll be failures to delivery. It'll basically be like a run on the bank. And then what we'll see is Shanghai will probably start setting the price for silver. And could you imagine silver just jumping drastically, right? And would Shanghai even go higher? I don't know. But it's at least going to be this kind of a spread here, so we could see it happen pretty fast. Let me go ahead and pull up another screen so you guys can see this. I'm going to bring up the actual prices so you guys can see those real quick too. Okay, so here's the prices of where we're at. Yeah, and this is the market close. So you can see the prices here now. Keep in mind, when you're looking at this Kitco chart here, it's going to go off the bid price, okay? That's what dealers are willing to buy at. A lot of them will actually use the ask price, though, for what they'll sell it to you for. Depends. Some use just this one. But there you go. We've got gold is just under $4,600 for the week, and silver is just under 90. So what is that on the GSR for us right now? It's got to be, it's just a little bit over 50. It's about 51.04. We did get below 50 this week, and that is significant because it hasn't been that way for a very long time. All right, so let's kind of shift gears here real quick. I'm going to pull that off. Doesn't matter what kind of 10th ounce gold coins you buy. I know Eagles are the best, but what about the other ones? All right, here's my advice on coins in general, guys. Number one, buy the coins of the country you live in, okay, for a good chunk of your stack. The reason for this is oftentimes you have favorable laws written for those coins, okay? They're more recognized in that country, and they're also easier to sell back. So that's the number one. They're going to probably be more expensive as well, but you pay for what you get, okay? Number two, it's okay to own different country coins. That's fine. Most countries prefer 24 karat gold right now over 22 karat gold, which is, let's just call it 90%, or it's an alloy, right? It's not really actually gold. It's a mix. So some countries really don't like that. That's another thing you need to be aware of is it 24 karat gold or not? Most of the 10th ounces I see are 24 karat gold. And then the other thing I would throw out there too is it comes down to buying. So for me, if I have 5 products in front of me and the Gold Eagle is $20 more, I'm probably going to buy the one that's not a Gold Eagle if I'm tighter on cash, and especially if I'm looking to buy a handful of them. However, if I'm more concerned about taxes in the future and I have the funds and I can still buy the Eagles, I would probably go with the Eagles. But even better than that is if you can find Eagles at the same price as the other coins. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Okay, we're going to hit the poll here real quick, and we'll get to some more of your questions. Let's end this thing real quick here. I want to see what you guys had. So we had 132 votes in there. Are you worried about gold and silver prices? No. We moved up to 86%. No. And there's the 14% that are. Okay, so that's interesting because I think it was a little higher a couple weeks ago, closer to like 90% no and 10% yes. So people are starting to get a little bit concerned. So I'm going to ask the question in just a little bit different way, because I think this is part of what we're going to be talking about in detail today as well. How concerned would you be if, and we'll just keep it as silver right now, silver drops to $50 for 6 months? All right, it's hard to type and think at the same time and talk. Okay. I want to ask it this way because I want to see a little bit more information from you guys on where your head's at and where you're thinking. Okay, let's see what else you got in here. Comments. Yeah, we do want to get to 100 likes, you guys. That'll get us some more gauze to do tonight. Let's see where we're at. We've got 100 likes, so we'll do some more silver gauze right there. Okay. All right, I just want to see your questions before I dive into more of the material I've got for you guys. Okay, this is from Jim. $1,000 silver is too high. It's what hype channels say to get views. Even 150 is nearly double what it is right now. Well, not exactly. It's at 90 right now, so that would be a little higher than that. But so no one should ever be thinking of over 200. I completely disagree, Jim. But let me tell you why, and let me give you some context to it. So what we hear a lot of people talking about is the gold to silver ratio. We hear a lot of people talking about where silver and gold can go. What you guys have to remember, especially for those of you that were around and investing or buying or moving your fiat into gold and silver back in 1980, or even earlier than that. And if you were doing it in 2000, between that time and 2011, you saw these big spikes up. It could be just like that again this time. Okay, we could be wrong about a lot of assumptions, and maybe the market's just being manipulated to some degree. However, I'm seeing a lot of signs that point into a different direction for us. I'm seeing a lot of signs that are going to point towards more inflation. The term hyperinflation is kind of a hard term because it means different things to different people. If you're looking at like Venezuela, where they had different prices throughout the day, and so people got 2 paychecks per day or got paid twice a day, because everything got more expensive later in the day. That's true runaway hyperinflation. Okay, so I'm not talking about that. But to me, hyperinflation is when the inflation is higher than what they want it to be, and it's starting to increase. So here's what I see happening right now that I think is different than 1980 and 2011. And why I'm not discrediting what your comment is. I completely agree with you on this. A lot of people put $1,000 silver in there to hype things, but it's not impossible. And so this is what I want you guys to know. If you're sitting here thinking that a $90 silver is too high, it's going to crash down, then you're not fully understanding what's happened in the past, and you're looking at charts that aren't on the right setting for like a log standard, okay? And you're looking at things based on nominal price, so priced in US dollars, not priced against inflation or inflation adjusted. So if you look at 1980, I believe it was about a 20% increase, 20x increase of the price that from the bottom all the way up to the top. And that was huge. We've only gone up about 3.5 times right now, if you go back to say $20, okay? So we're nowhere near as explosive as 1980. In addition to that, we've had a ton of inflation since then. And we don't even have silver at a price right now that is keeping up with inflation. It should be $160 or more. Some people say 180. And that's if you use the CPI. If you go and start using shadow stats, which really ranks inflation based on how they used to do it back in the 80s, you're looking at something much closer to $1,000. Okay. So when we say $1,000, we're saying this. Some people might be saying it just for views. I'm not saying it for views. I'm saying it because I want you guys to understand that this actually could happen. It could happen in the next 5 years. And if you think that's not even possible, then you aren't paying attention to all of the things in the market, or you don't believe them. And we could be wrong, but here's the things I see. The LBMA is having major problems. Okay, they keep having a hard time fulfilling the orders for delivery. So they've had to fly a ton of silver from New York out to London. Okay, we've had the COMEX have problems. Okay, so the COMEX has had issues where they've flown silver from LBMA out to COMEX. Okay, so these guys are playing games. Next, you have the CME, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. That's where the futures trading is for silver. You've seen them continually upping their fees drastically, even twice in 1 week, to slow the people down from playing the market and trying to lower down the price of silver. Then you've got Shanghai in China that's basically paying $10 more per ounce in silver. And if you go back and watch my video interview with Eric Young, King Kong, the gorilla guy, he talks about that includes the VAT tax. So it is a true $10 profit arbitrage, minus any kind of shipping costs that you would have. Um, those are things that are different than what happened in those other time periods. Now, there was euphoria in those other time periods. Some people thought things were going to break as well, but these are still different things happening. Then we have China shutting off the ability to have silver be exported. Now, there's a few companies that can do it, but I highly doubt China is going to allow those exports to go out of the country. Okay, now it looks like we're getting into a resource war here. As soon as China does that, we do stuff over at Venezuela, which messes up with their oil trade. And now we're talking about Greenland, and we've had conversations. People have brought up conversations about Mexico and Peru, where there's a lot of silver. So I think we're in what I would call more of like a Cold War of resources between the West and the East. So is it possible for us to hit 1,000? It is, if we get to a $20,000 gold and we get down to a 20% ratio or 20 ratio. Then you could see those things happen. So it's not impossible for it to happen. If you look at a lot of the charts, and I'll see if I can pull them up here tonight as we're talking, especially from Kevin Wadsworth, bad charts. I think just badcharts.com. I'll have to look it up again. But anyway, if you look at that, you can see on some of his charts, and I'll try to find it here in a minute. He's expecting we're going to get somewhere between 8 and 16,000. Okay. On gold, and that's between now and 2032. Potentially it could happen sooner. If you have a low ratio, that's where you start to get to numbers like 1,000. Okay, so it's not crazy. So you might feel like it's hype and there's no way it could happen. Now you got to put another factor into it. What if the Fed chairman is replaced, like it seems to be what is going to happen, that Trump replaces him with someone else? If they're very favorable to lowering interest rates, it's going to be very bullish for the market overall. It's going to spur the economy. If they start then doing stimulus payments because of the different tariffs, that's more money in people's hands. There's going to be more spending. It is going to be inflationary. And then if they start printing more money because they raise debt ceilings and we start doing other things to improve our infrastructure, then you're going to continue to see inflation rising. And then another one would be if they revalue gold. Eric Young thinks that maybe they'll wait until it's 8,000 and let it kind of rise on its own and then revalue it. They come up with $2 trillion extra. And if the US Treasury starts to use that, then it's inflationary. Okay. So to get to $1,000 silver, we could have potentially everything at the same price it is today, but most likely there will be inflation if we get to $1,000 silver. That's going to cause issues to the point where maybe you're buying a Coca-Cola for $10. Maybe it's $15. So I hope that helps. I don't know. Hopefully that helps you guys. I'm hearing the same thing, that silver's hard to get. I don't know for sure, guys, if I can't substantiate that. I'm not all over the world on it, but I'm hearing that silver is hard to get. We are seeing lines form in other countries. We've started seeing some of that happen here. Is it a good time to convert gold to silver? I'm currently holding more gold than silver by value. So here's the rule of thumb that a lot of people have is if the GSR is above 80, then it's a better time to be selling or trading your gold into silver. And if it's below, say, 30 or 20, then it's a good time to be moving your silver into gold. Now, the reality is 50 is not a middle mark, okay? You got to go back to what the historical value is, which is, about $48, $45 in the last 100 years. And if you go back further, then it's about, 12 to 1. And if you look at 12 to 1, anything below that would be a good time to move silver to gold, and anything above that would be a good time to go from gold to silver. Right now it's kind of no man's land. So some of you are, if you're moving from gold to silver and silver to gold, I don't think it's bad. I think you're going to have a lower ratio in the future, which I think is going to lend to better opportunities to trade silver for gold. But if you don't have any gold right now and you're sitting on a ton of silver, it's still a better time to trade than it was when it was at 80 or 100. So, what I would recommend on this is if you are really heavy, like 90% gold and 10% silver, then it's a good opportunity to look at that still. It's still higher than say 40 or 30. Okay. But if you're sitting at 50% gold, 50% silver, and you're trying to figure out how to do more of it, it's a toss up. You're probably better off waiting to see if the ratio goes up a little bit more. If we have a pullback in silver and gold holds, then the ratio is going to go up. So it's something you can wait for. But as always, guys, I can't give you financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just going to give you guys my thoughts and ideas, some tips and tricks for you guys to go do it and do your own homework on it. Yes, this is what Eric covered. A lot of people were saying that's not the case. All right, let's see. Yep. Spot price is paper price, just so you guys know. Okay, the 130 was a listing ask for a dealer off of a Japanese shopping website, name redacted. Okay, so it might be a short-term thing. Like, I'm not hearing a huge movement around it. They're making a bigger deal about Shanghai than they are in Japanese or in Japan. So my guess is it's probably not a sustainable thing. It may have been a one-time thing. Okay, so here's the deal that we're starting to see now. We're starting to hear that some dealers are charging quite a bit above spot when they're selling, right, their metals. And when they're buying back, they're still kind of below spot. We're seeing the spread growing a little bit. And what happens to dealers is it's not so much that your local coin shop is trying to gouge you guys. What happens is they see what's going on in the big stores, and the big stores start to hedge themselves a little bit. If they think silver is about to drop down, they want to offer less money when they buy. And they also want to charge a little bit more when they go to sell it to you, because they're afraid that they may start losing money if the metals go down a little bit. Okay, so sometimes you can see that. The other thing we're seeing is that the supply is harder to come by, and therefore shops are charging a little bit more because they don't know when they're going to get the replenishment. So, what am I buying silver-wise? I'll just show you what I did buy. I bought this for giveaways for the channel. So I was up at Tim's and visiting Yankee, and I bought some of these Tim and Yankee rounds. I know you guys think those are fun. I paid almost $100 for these guys. I can't believe it's almost $100 for silver. But I bought those, and then I bought these for the Long Beach Coin Show. These are the bits from Silver Dave from the local coin, local silver mint. And these are 1/10 ounce, 3/9 fine silver. And I've got an interview with him, kind of a fun video to shop. That dude's got a lot of energy, and it was really fun to talk to him. Hopefully we'll do a lot of things together in the future too. But I did buy, 2 bags of this stuff, and we're hoping to maybe get more of it for the show. But he did bring up some good points that are going to be in that video. You guys will see this next week. But one point I'll just bring up to you is one thing that's different between those and 90% silver dimes is the difference between 90 and pure silver. Some people like to have the pure silver. Some people like to have the dimes because they're more recognizable. These ones do have markings on them, so it's still very valuable as well. But that's what I've been buying. I'm not going crazy buying at the moment. I want to see what happens. I want to see if we get way over 100 and it starts moving more before I do anything else. I'm also looking to see if we have a little better movement on the gold to silver ratio. I'm heavier in gold. So at this point, I've got less cash, but I've got some other metals. So if we do see a drop in silver and we see gold hold its own, and we get to a point where we're starting to see, say, a 70 ratio again, maybe even getting close to 80, I probably will look at maybe moving some gold over to some silver. Now, my end game is gold. I'm a gold bug. I'm not really a silver bug. I'm a gold bug that's seeing the opportunity in silver. I do like silver, but I hate that it tarnishes. It does take up a lot of space, and for whatever reason, I just looking at gold, holding gold. I love that stuff. It's pretty cool. All right. We did get a super chat in here. Let's hit that real quick. So T-Pack, it's not going to be a pleasant world if we're right. Now that's an understatement. So that goes back to the other gentleman's question. you know, the $1,000 might seem very much like it can't happen. Okay. But it is possible, is what I'm telling you guys. Okay. I'm not telling you to go buy gold and silver because it's going to 1,000. That's what the crypto guys do. That's what the people in the stock market do. They'll tell you, hey, you need to go and buy this stock because it's going to the moon and it's all this stuff. And the crypto guys hit that really hard. You got to do this. A lot of times those guys are telling you to do that so they can sell it to you and they can get exit, you become their exit liquidity. With gold and silver, I hope to never sell very much of the stuff. I hope to either trade it into properties that cash flow, or maybe trade it to use for a car at some point. But I would probably rather keep the metals, maybe even get a loan on them at some point. All right, as we're talking, I'm going to open up one of these rolls. I'm really curious to see if there's anything good in these. And I don't have the second camera set up because it was screwing up our microphone before. All right, let's see if we can get down here. So if you guys haven't done so, hit the subscribe, the bell icon, and the thumbs up. I've got a couple of big goals I want to share with you guys real quick on my channel. So let me pull that up so you guys can see it because I think it's important. It's opportunities for you guys to win more silver. So, you know, why am I doing this? Because one, I'm crazy. But one of the main reasons I'm doing all this stuff, guys, is I'd rather, to grow this channel, I'd rather give you guys free silver than to, you know, pay a company to help market the channel and do all that stuff. All right, just a second here. Bear with me. Okay. Here we go. So a couple things you guys need to know. You got 428 people watching this right now. So you got some chances here, okay? So if you look at this right here, I've got a goal of hitting 22,000 by the end of January. If we do that, we're going to do ounces of silver in giveaways, okay? Some of them may be these Tim rounds. We may do a couple others, all right? Depending on how far we go above 22, we'll kind of make a determination. But at 22, I'm going to give away at least 2 ounces, okay? It's ounces plural. So I'm going to give away 2 ounces if we get to 22 by the end of January. 22,000, right? Okay, the next one I want to pull up here. We're going to keep scrolling down here. We're so close. Okay, this one here. So give me a date. We've got 194 comments so far on a date. And we'll do a silver giveaway for the people that make comments on this, okay? So here's all you got to do is you got to put a date on there, and the person that guesses the date first, where we hit 100, then you're going to get that. All right. And so it can be in the middle of the day, and we are going to go off of the ask price, which is a little higher, just so that you guys are aware which one we're going to hit there. But you can make a comment down there. That's another chance to get some free silver. All right. And then last thing I want to do too is kind of scroll up the top here. For you guys, if you want to join a membership, we do live streams, or I should say chats. Here you go. So if you click membership right here, guys, right there, it'll take you to this section here and you can join it. We've got a couple different kinds of memberships. It doesn't let me show it to you. I need to go make a screenshot of it, I guess. But it gives you an opportunity to do a couple things. And I'm just going to, I'll kind of read it off here because you guys can't see it on there. I don't know why it does it that way. But right now we've got about 113 members. So thank you for being a member if you are. And there's a couple levels. So we've got a level at $3 club. We've got a level at $3 loyalty badges. You get to have fun, member only videos. Okay. Right now they're invited into our Friday night streams, and we'll do that until we start to get too many people in there. And then that's going to get closed off to Club Grom, which is the $10 club above it. That's where we have the live streams. And that will include that. And then we've got one that's $50, which gives you guys access to my phone to ask me questions. And then from there, we've got our one-on-one mentors. Now, I'm probably going to be setting some stuff up in the future to take that off of YouTube here to where it's directly with me. That way I can save you guys some money and it saves me some money. it'll make it a little bit easier too, and we'll be doing that just by the hour. So what kind of things can you guys get help with on that? Really, a lot of it comes down to what do you need help with when it comes to one-to-one coaching, mining stocks, stacking. Do you have questions around real estate? Do you have questions around setting up a business or an LLC? You might have questions around tax. You might have questions around starting up a tech company or an application. I can help coach you guys in a lot of those things. And the key is I'm not a financial advisor or planner, but I'm going to help you know what questions to ask and the kind of person to go find and look for if you truly need that, or at least the things to go start researching so you get the help. Okay, that's my quick little introduction there. We got another super chat here, Shiny Rock Syndicate. How should we calculate GSR, by ounce or by dollars? Okay, so GSR is always going to be calculated. It's a ratio, so it's always going to be calculated based on the price. So you're going to take the price of gold, for example, and just divide it by the price of silver, and that's going to give you what the GSR is. Okay. Now, if you want to know like what percentage of gold and silver people have, when I give those numbers out, there's two different numbers I can give you. Okay. One is how many ounces of silver do I have to every ounce of gold I have? Okay. I'm around about 52 right now. The other thing, a lot of you are probably like 300. That's what I hear from a lot of people. The other thing a lot of people talk about is how many dollars. So if you look at dollar wise right now, I'm much heavier in silver at the moment than gold, but that was different. When we had silver sitting at about 50, I was way heavier in gold. So silver has really been outperforming gold. All right, we're going to do a quick silver giveaway. You guys want to do a quick silver giveaway? So let's hit this poll real quick. I'm going to end that real quick. We're going to talk about that as I get the silver giveaway ready. And then I am going to open these. Maybe we'll find something in here. Okay. So all you got to do is copy this hashtag in here. All right, it's going to be hashtag 1000. Okay, because 1000 is not crazy. I'm just telling you guys. I know a lot of you do not believe it. You don't want to believe it. But it's not crazy. It could totally happen. I mean, as a matter of fact, we could see $2,000 silver if things really get out of control. And what Bill Holter talked about the other day that I thought was really good too is he said, guys, look, you got to stop thinking of silver and gold and price of dollars. You got to think in ounces. How many ounces can you get? And one of the reasons that's significant is, we could get to a point where a candy bar is $100, and then you're looking at $10,000 silver. So it really doesn't matter about the price. If you're really concerned about the price and you think everybody's just making stuff up to pump their channels, that's not what they're doing. They're not making up a number. Now, if I came out and said that silver is going to go to, $20,000, okay, that's pretty ridiculous. There's no pathway to that. But 1,000, I can show you how it gets there. It's the same with Bitcoin. When I hear Michael Saylor saying that it's going to go to $13 million, he's basically thinking that it's going to way outpace gold's market cap and take a lot of gold's market cap away. I don't think that'll ever happen. So, I just think he's just trying to pump his stuff. Okay, so let's pull the screen up so you guys can see how many people we've got in there so far for the giveaway. All right, we got 106 in there. That's good. So this is going to be for a silver dime. I don't have it right with me, but it'll be for a silver dime. So whoever wins this, send me an email, StackingSurfer@gmail.com. In the subject, go ahead and put GA. And then in the body, tell me your YouTube name. Remind me it's a silver dime, and I need your mailing address. And then go ahead and take a screenshot of this when it shows that you won that. That way it helps me verify it. But before we hit that, we'll just give it another few seconds for people to get in here. Let's see. So how concerned would you be if silver drops to 50 for 6 months? Not concerned is 57% of you, okay? Neutral is 23%. which means you would probably be a little bit concerned about it. Very concerned is 20%. So here's what I want to tell you guys. If you're in that very, very concerned category, if it drops, there's something I would recommend looking at. If you don't have a lot of cash on the side, and you think you might need to sell your silver if it drops down to 50 because you've overbought it and you're hoping for it to go to the moon and make you a bunch of money, you probably have too much silver, and you need to consider either moving some of that into gold, or you need to consider selling some of it to have more cash. In my opinion, you should always have at least 3 months worth of expenses in cash. You can have that at your home. You could have it, buried somewhere. You could have it in your bank. But you need to have liquidity, because things can happen. We could have a crash that goes down, and it could consolidate there for a longer period of time than any of us is expecting. When things like that happen, it prolongs the bull run, meaning it's going to go out in more time, further in history before we end it. So the 20% of you that are really concerned, my biggest concern there would be you might have too much silver right now. The people that are neutral, you're probably going to be very concerned when you see it happen after a week. So I'd put you guys in that same category. The ones that are not concerned, would you be concerned if it was a year that it stayed down there and gold went up? So those are the thoughts to be thinking about as you're thinking around, how much do you have? How's all your stuff set up? Okay, let's go ahead and run this. I'm going to do a 3, 2, 1. And we'll do a stop. Okay, so I'm going to run this thing. Better not land on me again. All right. Molmeek, I think that's what it is, 2832. Congratulations. This is for a silver dime, so go ahead and send me your information. And I should be getting those out on Tuesday for you and everybody else in the last month. I wish I could do them faster, but I'm a one-man show, and I work about 70 hours a week. And I do this for you guys, okay, to help you guys out with this stuff. All right, I want to see if you had any other quick questions in here before I jump on to the next thing. Okay. So if you are crazy scared, you don't have conviction and are treating it as a meme coin. Okay. Yes and no. I mean, some of you maybe have PTSD from 1980 and 2011. And you might be really concerned about that. So you got to ask yourself why you were in silver in the first place, though. And some of us that haven't been doing it that long, if it happens to us like that and we do have a big crash, we're going to learn a different lesson. But it looks different to me right now. It looks different the way that we're doing things and how things are going. So let me pull up a couple X things real quick for you guys, some posts. But let me get another. I want to get another poll going for you guys real quick. Okay, what does your ratio look like? I'm going to give you guys 4 options here. Okay, this is going to be in ounces of silver to gold, okay? So we're going to start at the top here. I'm going to go over 300, 150 to 299, 100 to 149, below 100. I am curious to see how you guys answer this one. Okay. Okay, now you'll see this on the video I'm doing with Silver Dave too. There's some coins that he was completely out of, but he actually has a pretty good inventory because a lot of their people took a vacation right when everything blew up around Christmas time. So they do have inventory if you guys are looking out there. All right, we're going to try opening this right now. $10 in halves. You guys can see me opening it as we go. I don't anticipate we're going to get anything but modern stuff here. But this is how it goes. Sometimes it's fun to just grab these guys. Yeah, these are all modern. And these can be fun to have at a coin show to give out for change. But you can see there is no silver there. Right? And these look pretty darn shiny. So let's see, what year do we got? 2023s. So there you go. Look at how shiny those are. So we'll open a couple of those. They're kind of fun. And a lot of times you can tell just by looking at these. But yeah, some shops are having a hard time with it. So yeah, you guys, the fact that gold and silver are going up means that everything's breaking. It's not a great thing for the country. Even if you're holding this stuff, it's not great. Now, if you're an investor, then you might be excited about it because you want the price to only go up. But if you're a stacker, you really don't want the price of gold and silver to go up. Because if you're stacking because it's real money, not because you're trying to get rich off of it. Yeah, I think these are all going to be pretty modern. Here you go. Let's see what these ones are. These ones are 2024. There you go. Look at that. All right, let's see how many you guys have in here. All right, we got 92 votes. Let's see if you get, I want you guys to get a little bit more votes in there. And we got one more super chat in here to hit real quick. So thank you, Truth or Nothing, for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. So Justin has way over 300. Let me redo my number again. Let's double check here. So I'm actually up to 57. I'm at about 57 ounces of silver to every ounce of gold I have. All right. So yeah, we got over 100. So we'll end the poll real quick. I just want to show you guys. You'll see it come up in the feed over here to your right. So we got 104 votes. We've got below 100 is 39%. So most of you are saying that you're below 100, which would mean that you have 100 ounces of silver to every 1 ounce of gold or less, which is surprising to me. Over 300 is 31%, which I've heard from a lot of people. Yeah, look at these. They're all going to be new. So that's all new. So I don't have any luck going to my bank. I think everybody's overly educated. And I think the banks are pulling everything out. These ones are 2024 as well. But they look nice and shiny. And these are not, these are bankrolled. These are not coming from from someone else that's already brought them in. Now, the teller I talked to today, this was interesting. He might be watching this too. He has a brother that's also a teller. And someone brought in like 100 dimes the other day that were all silver. And they deposited them. And they did not get more than 10 cents worth for each of those dimes. Do not turn in real silver, guys. So see that? Nothing good there. These ones are also 2023s. It's too bad they stopped making the money out of silver, isn't it? Okay, then we had about 117% that have between 150 and 299 ounces. And then we have from 100 to 149, we've got 13. So most of you are much heavier in silver than you guys are in gold, which that's kind of to be expected. All right, let's see what else you guys have in here. Why is March an important date for silver? It's because there's a ton of contracts that come due in March. And that's when we're expecting to have a massive amount of deliveries at the exchanges, so the COMEX and the LBMA. That's why it's so important. And we'll do another silver giveaway here in just a minute. Unfortunately, I don't have any half dollars to give you guys because we did not score any $half silver today. All clad. So these aren't even worth 50 cents. I mean, they are worth 50 cents because you can take it to the store, but the metal themselves isn't worth 50 cents. But they look a lot nicer than the $half I have. All right, so we're gonna start collecting here for another GOT here, guys. Give me just a minute. Okay, from Fuzzy, the COMEX can't go down to 75 if Shanghai stays 95 or higher. Many analysts are overlooking this and foolishly expecting silver to go to 50. So you are correct, but it is possible that we could see it go down to 50 at COMEX, and it could still be at 95 over at Shanghai, but it wouldn't make very much sense because basically all the silver in COMEX would be redeemed and it would be shipped over to Shanghai because there would be such a massive amount of arbitrage. So it's not that it's not technically possible, it's that it wouldn't happen. It's like having a flash crash and everybody buys it. My thought is if we get down to $75 silver, if we get down there, I think it's very short-lived and I think it's bought, and I don't think physical comes anywhere close to it. It'll probably be some kind of a weird shorting thing that happened, or a market issue for it to go down that low that quickly. Could it get down to 50? A lot of the analysts, the technical analysis analysts are saying that. But to your point, I don't think they're looking at all the factors in this. So I'm pretty comfortable. I don't think we're going back down to 50 right now. I think we're going over 100. I think we're probably going to 150 to 200. And I think at that point, that's where we're going to see some big profit taking and some consolidation, allowing gold to run again. But you got to keep in mind, what happens if silver hits 50? What happens if silver hits 150? How are you going to fill in both those situations? Do you have enough silver if it goes up to 150 that you're happy? Do you have too much silver that if it goes down to 50, you're freaking out because you can't buy anymore and you're having to sell it? But yeah, I do agree with you on that. I don't see it happening in that situation. All right, let's see what else we got here. Rob likes your name there. All right. Do those Chinese? I don't know what those Chinese means. Do they know how cheap silver is over here? I'm guessing they probably do. And they're probably buying it up and getting ready to send it out. All right, let's see what else we got here. Jammy Dreambird. I was a teller for many years and always bought the silver from my drawer. There's not much silver left in circulation in my experience. No, I have not found a single silver anything anywhere. Some people do, but they're usually not in big metro areas. My county has 3.3 million people, and California has a lot. Most of those people, by the way, are very conservative. And I live in one of the most conservative cities in the entire country. Hopefully it'll stay that way for a long time. But yeah, I had someone leave a comment, said they'd watch my channel more, but I live in California, so they don't watch it. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that has to do with conservative or liberal or if it's something else. But living in California, I don't think discredits you from being able to be a stacker. We have a lot of people here in California. Now I want to show you guys a couple cool things that just landed. So one, I think there's 10 of these magnets. We scored a deal from Sticker Mule. I'll have to put a link in for you guys on Sticker Mule, but where you can go buy these magnets are really cool. So these magnets we'll use for some of the nice giveaways when we do like a Tim and Yankee round. We'll throw like a magnet in for that stuff. But I got 10 of these magnets. I sold out of my first 50. We had a deal, so I got a few more of these, but these are great for your safe. And then I got some new stickers. I usually only buy this stuff when they have a sale, and I haven't bought, I think, any of this in a year. But we're almost out of stickers. I have the original ones that look like this that are numbered, and I'm not making more of those. I am going to get a bunch more of these that are not as durable of stickers that are coming. But for the really nice durable stickers, I've only made 100 of those, and that's kind of the plan. But we got these guys coming. So these are kind of fun stickers. So it's like the real logo. I found these hanging out at Tim's shop that have been sitting there for like 2 years. So I brought some of these home. These are little surfboard stickers. Okay. So if you guys have a preference, I usually send a sticker when you win a GA. So if you've got a preference on it, you can try to describe it. And then we got something really cool. I don't know how these are going to mail. So these may only be for the coin show and for people that want to do a trade. But I know some of you guys are into doing the poker chip. So we got our first poker chip for the channel. I thought it came out pretty cool. So there's the first poker chip. It's got the orange with the sun. I thought it looked pretty good. So you guys have to let me know. What do you think about these? Do they look good? Do they look cool? But we got a whole bunch of those. I just don't know if these are going to go in a regular envelope. So I don't know that I'll be mailing these out very often. If I have to get away from a regular envelope, then I start getting into $5 shipping costs. It just doesn't make sense. I might as well send you a silver dime. But I do have a bunch of those. What do we get? There's like 50 of those things. So that might just be for the coin show. That might be, you guys have to come to the coin show to get one of those. But that's it. That's kind of the promotional. I do have like 300 of these coming that are not as fancy as stickers as the other ones. They're not like all weather stickers. They'll kind of wear out a little bit. But that's what we're doing, and that's kind of it. I'm done with stickers for now. We'll try to get some other cool shirts going for you guys too. But let's get the next giveaway going real quick. Okay, here's our next silver giveaway. It's going to be hashtag Lynette Zhang. I've got her coming on for an interview next week. So let's see if we can get her attention with the hashtag on here. But go ahead and put that in. So Tay, I don't know the rest of the name there. Tay says, don't sell until 500. We got 256 likes, 417 watching. All right. Let's see. That's interesting. They canceled a lot of stuff over the US Mint. So your order went through. That's pretty good. There's no beard on the sticker, but if you look at the one in real, I did not shave very much that day. So there's a little bit of it on that one. Okay, that's maybe like a couple days of shaving. If I keep this long enough, maybe we'll have to update it to a degree. We'll see. We'll see what Mrs. Surfer wants me to do on it. All right, let's see here. All right, you guys are getting that in there. That's good. Okay. Let's add that one to stage. Okay, we got to 84. Let's get up to over 100. I want to make sure you guys have a chance to do it. All right, we're gonna do 2 runs on this. So we're gonna do a silver dime. Yeah, I think we'll do 2 more silver dimes on this for right now. We're gonna save up to do some cool stuff for a 20K party. But the goal is to get to 22,000. We get to 22,000, then we do the full ounce stuff. We'll do a much bigger party when we get to 25,000. Actually, no, not 25,000 because we'll hit it at 20. We get to 50,000 by the end of the year. That's my goal. We're going to do a crazy big party. That's where I'll do, hopefully have a Drew Brophy signed silver surfboard coin. We'll do a bunch of other stuff. We'll have other channels send coins in for you guys to give away as gauze and kind of advertise on the channel. We'll also do chips and stickers and all that kind of fun stuff too. But yeah, we'll do that when we get to the 50, and then the 100,000 will be a crazy party. 100,000, we might even do something like rent out a movie theater, and I don't know, play a really cool movie. We'll have to vote on what it is, but we could do something really fun like that. So we did. Dan from I Allegedly is out this way in Irvine, actually Tustin, I think, and at his I think it was his 100,000 subscriber party, he rented out the movie theater down in Newport that's on the PCH by Corona Del Mar, and they played Rocky. That's where I met Economic Ninja for the first time. I met him, and I met a couple other YouTubers, and they had a bunch of silver giveaways and a lot of fun stuff. So I'm hoping to do that. Now, the other thing I'm hoping to do is get some channel rounds. I don't know if I want my face on it, but it would be fun to get some channel rounds made out of silver that we can give away to you guys. As the price of silver goes up, it gets harder to do a lot of those and give away. When silver was $20, a lot of these channels were giving away, a lot of silver coins. It'll be a little harder to do it in the future, but we can still do something. All right, we got up here, so we're going to run this a couple times. So you guys need to hurry and get in there real quick. Now, if you're a member and you're watching right now and you do not have, well, first off, if you're a member, go look and see if you have an invite for about 30 minutes from now for our member-only stream. If you're not a member, you can go ahead and hit down below the, it'll be right around the title. It'll say like join or analytics or edit. Mine says edit video, but it'll say join or analytics. And here, let me. All right, keep putting that in for a second, guys. Let me see if I can get this to do it real quick while I'm talking about it. Okay. Okay. You get to see me in double bit delayed. Okay, do you see how delayed this is? That's how much it's delayed from when I talk and when I get your comments. Okay, it's going to go into like this never-ending infinity loop. But if you see my cursor, oh, it's not showing my cursor, is it? Okay, look at my logo down here on the main screen. It says 1,000 silver isn't crazy. Here's why. You see my logo. Next to it says join. That's where you join for a membership there. Once you've and if you join, then you get the options to do stuff. We do our member-only chat. So you guys get to come on and you can show your face or not, and you get to ask questions and you get to collaborate with the group. I think it's pretty cool. And look at that. It's like going into infinity. Okay, we'll pull that back off. All right, let's get back. We're going to run this twice for 2 more silver dimes. But yeah, we'll do some fun stuff, guys. We'll have more giveaways as we get. I got to get a sponsor for the channel. That's the biggest thing. I've got a couple of people that are helping a little bit with some sponsorships, but they're not very consistent. And believe it or not, doing a channel like this takes, I don't know, I'm probably 30 hours a week easily in this channel. It takes money to run these things too. So we do our best to try to help you guys. There we go. Okay, I pulled it up. All right, here we go. So we're going to call this 3, 2, hurry and get it in there. 1. And we're going to stop. All right, we're going to run this a couple times. So as always, send me an email, stackingsurfer@gmail.com, and in the subject put GA, and then take a screenshot of the screen here. So Abe, go ahead and take a picture of the screen. Send me the email. You got to send it to me by tomorrow night, or it goes back into the pool. And then screenshot of this. Give me your mailing address so I can send it out to you. If you've got a sticker that you prefer, we've got these fun ones that have a little bit of facial hair on them, since you guys seem to care. I was just lazy. I wasn't really planning on doing this. And then a bunch of people told me to keep it, and we voted. We'll do one more vote here real quick. You guys voted for me to keep it. Let's see if you guys still want me to keep it. We got the silver surfboard stickers. And then I think I have a few of the round ones still left. But congratulations. Okay, so let's do this real quick. We're going to do one last poll. Should Surfer keep the beard? Oops. All right, here we go. Let's see the poll. Let's see if we can get up to 100 people on that real quick too. Okay, so we're going to take a few more minutes here, and then we're going to, I got to get ready for the member-only stream. There's a bunch of you that sent me emails. So if you don't have the invite yet, and you sent me an email today, you're okay. Or even yesterday, I'll see those. If you sent me an email like a month ago, I might not be able to see it, or even a couple weeks ago. You know, I wouldn't bother too much going to the bank and getting coins like this to try to find real silver. If it's one of the big national banks, like this was Wells Fargo, they seem to go through their stuff really well. I've brought home boxes before. I've never seen any silver in any of them. So you're probably better off going to a smaller bank. You might want to ask for hand rolled rolls instead of rolls from the bank, because it looks like they're already going through everything. Any last questions you guys you have on here too, while we're collecting some votes on here? Oh man, I'm never going to shave this off, I don't think. All right, let's see. See if you guys have any last questions. Slave paper is dangerous and poisonous. Spend it as quickly as possible. Yes, but you need a little bit on the side just in case, because guess what? Most people are dumb, have no idea yet. I shouldn't say dumb. They're not enlightened yet. They don't know about precious metals. And so a lot of that. All right, let's see what we got here. Go get copper penny. Should we do that? We'll do that as our next one. Okay, so the poll has spoken. It is changing a little bit though. I've got we're going to try to see if I can patch these holes a little bit. Maybe it'll grow in over time a little bit. But at one time we were 80-20. Now we're at 67-33. All right, I'm going to do one more poll here. Is it a good idea to snag copper penny boxes? Well, you're not going to be able to snag copper penny boxes. Let's just say snag current penny boxes. A lot of them aren't going to have copper in them. You might get lucky on some of them though. But that's, I think Coinstar was set up to try to siphon all of that stuff more than anything. So let's run that poll. We got 20 people in there right now. And is it a good idea? Okay, so right now 70% say no. So 30-70, kind of a number. So here's the deal. If you own a store and you want to keep giving out exact change to people, then maybe going and grabbing a bunch of penny boxes makes sense. I don't think the penny is going to become super valuable anytime soon, like a 2025 penny. well, maybe a 2025 penny, that last year the penny, but 24s, I don't know that those are going to be super valuable. If you can get the copper pennies, 1982 or older, those are worth about 3 pennies each. To me, that's like stepping over $1 to pick up a penny. So I just, it's not worth it to me. This I did because it's just kind of fun to do for change and have some half dollars around. I didn't expect to have any silver in there. That's $50 of half dollars right there. And if I need to, I'll use them at the store and things like that. So it's kind of fun to open those up a little bit on a video. But here's the deal. You need to be thinking about how you're investing in your precious metals and what you're trying to get out of it. If you're spending all your time chasing, a couple dollars profit on something, you're wasting your time, in my opinion. So, for most people, I'd be careful with it. So I'm going to end that poll real quick. So we've got 67% that say no, and the rest of them say yes. So here's the deal. If you guys are thinking you can go get penny boxes, you're going to get rich off of it, that's not going to happen. If you want to have some around, fine. It goes with the people stacking copper as well. Now, if you don't have money for silver, then I would say you're trying to buy too big of silver. Go for like these little guys. Okay, these are like $7 each, I think. I think that's what those come to. No, they got to be more than that. Let me see here. No, I think they're more than that. I'll have to look at the bill again. Those might be as high as like $9 or $10 a piece. So, you can still afford to buy those. It's a little bit more expensive when it's fractional. Yeah, maybe 9 or 10. I think it's around that because it's a little higher than what the spot price is. But it's going to cost you a little bit more per ounce to do it. But you can get the fractional, and I'd rather have you have a couple of these than to wait until you have enough for a full ounce. It goes the same way with gold. Go get a 10th ounce if you need to. It's better to have it than not have it. And so I can't tell you what's going to happen for sure, but I see crazy stuff out there. I think we're going to see, situations where, black swan could potentially come up. We could see some other situations where we get in the middle of things to where silver really takes off and gold takes off. That's why I say $1,000 silver is not crazy. If you think it's crazy, maybe you haven't watched enough shows, or maybe you just are really skeptical about it. But I really do think it could. Now, my favorite fractional is Mercury dimes. That's what I mostly stack. I have some rosies, but mostly Mercury. Most of the time on this channel, when we give away dimes, they're going to be rosies. Most of you like those better. It has a little bit more silver. I keep the Mercury dimes because it's history, and two, it's very recognizable that it's an older dime. It's a different design. I think it makes it a lot easier. These are fun because they're 3/9 fine silver. So you could melt these things together and create something else if you need to. It's just another version of silver to have. So, I got these for the Long Beach Coin Show. So that's what I picked these guys up for. And this was $2,000 worth of dimes. And I don't know how, not dimes, but of these bits. I don't know how many there are actually in there. But that's what we did. All right, guys, I want to say thank you. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe, the bell icon, and the thumbs up. And until next week, hopefully everything goes well. If the price of silver hits 100, we'll be doing an emergency live stream. And if we have any other crazy news come up, we might do a quick live stream in the middle of the week. Outside of that, look for an interview from Lynette Zhang probably next Friday. I will try to get my prediction video out this week, as well as a video about the Mayflower and a couple of really cool coins that I have about the Mayflower, gold and silver. All right, guys, peace out. Have a great weekend. Keep stacking, and you can always reach me if you got any questions. Bye-bye.